about the MLB playoffs because they are in full swing. These playoffs have been fantastic. The Toronto Blue Jays are the first team to clinch the championship series. They just dog walked the New York Yankees in this series.
To quote the great David Ortiz, also known as Big Papi, the Yankees lose.
And, listen, I think this is great for the American League. I think Toronto has been one of the best teams in baseball all year. They have the power. They have the starting pitching. And the Yankees are very Aaron Judge dependent. Now, who they play will be very interesting to me because Detroit may have the starting rotation, obviously, with Skubal and Flaherty. But Seattle matches them in power with Kyle Riley, Julio Rodriguez, Josh Naylor, and those guys.
Toronto, Suarez.
Yes. Seattle and Toronto, to me, are basically the same team.
I hope Seattle wins, but going against Skubal for a second time, yes, they're at home. I know we got to him in Game 5 last year. I was at Game 5 when Lane Thomas hit that grand slam. That was one of the craziest environments I've ever been part of. And I know Jorge Polanco hit two home runs, off of Skubal, but it is so hard to beat him 2 times.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, you know what they say about pitching? Once you get a guy once, it's easier to get him a second time.
Well, that wasn't the case for the Guardians when they faced him a third time in Game 1 in the wild card series.
Yeah, but the Mariners lineup is a lot different than the Guardians lineup. They actually have real hitters outside of 1 through 4, which the Guardians do not.
That part is true, yes. And also Skubal didn't try to hike the ball through his legs. But
over in the National Leagues, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Over on the National League side, my Cubs fended off elimination, and they're hosting the Brewers again, trying to force a Game 5 back in Milwaukee. I'm not surprised that the Phillies are up 2 games, that the Dodgers are up 2 games to 1, because it's the Dodgers, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts. If it's Dodgers-Brewers again in the NLCS, Lord help us, because we know how that's going to go.
I disagree. I think the Brewers will be favored and will win that series. I think the Brewers are the most complete team in baseball. I think they have the best bullpen in baseball, which the Dodgers do not have. The Dodgers bullpen has been leaking oil. Even during that Reds series, they won both games, but they gave up multiple crooked run numbers in the 8th inning in both of those games. It's just their offense was able to overcome it. I think the Brewers have the perfect balance of pitching, hitting, bullpen, starter. They can give you a bullpen game. They can give you a starter game. Like, I know your Cubs are up against it. I think it's going to be really hard to beat that Milwaukee team 4 times in 7 games.
Well, it's the NL. Remember, the LDS series.
No, I know, but I'm saying now the Cubs have to win 3 games in a row. I don't think that's possible.
Well, no,
I don't know
no, they only have to win 2 games in a row.
No, they were down 2-0. So they have to win Game 3, which they did. Now they have to win Game 4, and they have to win Game 5. I don't know if they can do that.
I see what you're saying. Now I get it. My apologies for the misunderstanding there, but I'm more worried about the Phillies than I am the Cubs, because the Cubs and Brewers are very familiar with each other. They're NL Central Division foes. They play each other multiple times.
The Cubs manager used to manage in Milwaukee forever, Craig Counsell.
Yes. So I think, I'm not saying that means the Cubs are for sure going to come back, but I would give the Cubs a better chance because of those factors. Yes, I get it. Milwaukee is a great team. I love Jackson Chourio. He has been fantastic. I fully believe he should at least be an MVP conversation. It will most likely go to Shohei Ohtani, but my personal vote would actually go to Jackson Chourio for what the Brewers have done. On the flip side, for AL MVP, I would give it to Cal Raleigh. because the Mariners haven't won the division in 24 years.
And he's also hit 60 home runs as a catcher.
Yes. And he was playing catcher, correct. So, like, having to lead the Mariners pitching staff, whether it's the starters with Luis Castillo, or I forget their number one. Off the top of my head, but Castillo is the first one name that comes to. Oh, Logan Gilbert,
Yep.
George Kirby. There we go. And then you have the bullpen arms. So for Cal Raleigh to do all that is highly impressive. But anyway, with the Phillies and Dodgers, I would say the Dodgers should close it out tonight. Mostly because,
for the record, it is 0-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning.
Okay. But I think the Dodgers should close it out, mostly because they have the better lineup. They have Andy Pages, they have Freddie Freeman, Shohei, Mookie. I think they have the better lineup 1 through 9.
It's going to come down to, can the Dodgers hit? Because both these teams have been very lackluster with the bats at certain times in that series. And, the other thing is, my biggest takeaway so far from these MLB playoffs is that we got stars on every team. All of these games are close. It does feel like nobody has separated themselves from the pack. It does feel like anybody at this point can win the World Series. And these series are so intense. They're so invigorating because they're 5 games. They're going, back-to-back days, or there's a travel day. They're taking one day off. It's now like the NBA playoffs that are so drawn out because there's 2 days off in advance, or sometimes 3 days off, and they're not playing back-to-back, and series go 7 games. Like, this is what I love about the MLB playoffs. It's urgency. It's fast. It's, you make one mistake, it could cost you the whole series.
Yeah. I totally agree with you on that one. If we got like Brewers, Blue Jays in the World Series, that would be a fantastic matchup. Who would have home field advantage? Because they're both the number 1 seed in the NL and
Depends
AL.
on who won more games, which I believe Milwaukee did. I think Milwaukee has the best record in baseball, which they do. They won 97 games. Toronto won 94.
Okay, so Milwaukee would have home field advantage.
Yes, Milwaukee would have home field advantage against everybody. So it would go Milwaukee, then it would go Philly, then it would go Toronto. So if Toronto played the Dodgers in the World Series, Toronto would have home field.
Okay. But if Toronto played Philly, Philly would have home field advantage.
Correct.
Okay. So, and it wouldn't matter if Milwaukee, the Phillies, or Dodgers played the Mariners or the Tigers.
They would all have home field.
Okay. And I hate to say it, but I'm not including the Cubs because it's unlikely they'll come back to beat the Brewers. But like I said, I give them a better chance than I do the Phillies.
Well, believe it or not, to end our show today,